to the Jordan.
Welcome back. You're now tuned in to the Blood Brothers podcast. I'm Enoch.
I'm James Alchemy Jr.
Let me start this thing off right. Our Father in heaven, come to you right now. We thank you for this opportunity. Use us in this moment. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, talk to me, man.
Our mission will always be the same, empowering men to become leaders in society under God's law. Consequently, men, women, and children will understand the foundation of what it is to be a real man.
Okay. So we've been in this mentality series, and today we're gonna get into the maturity process. But last week we talked about what was the title last week? We be talking so much. I be forgetting.
It was mentality under, I want to say God, not God's law. Obviously, everything will be under God's law, but it was
matter of fact, the stigmas and stuff like that, cultural stigmas.
Yes, there we go.
There was one more thing
keeping
that I
it
want to
real
throw before we move on. Yeah, keeping it real. There was one more thing about like cultural phrases that I wanted to bring up that I forgot last week. I wanted to get that in before we keep going. And I know you're gonna have something to say about this one. It's that phrase, "I'm not perfect." I thought about it literally like, oh, we got to talk about that real quick before we keep going. So
I hate that.
So here's the thing, everybody in the world knows we're not perfect.
True.
And I've done it too. I'm a failure to that too. I've always said, yo, I'm not perfect. I mean, blah, blah. And I try to stop saying that because I feel like it's come to a point that's almost like a get out of jail free card. You know, I'm not perfect, so, you know what I mean? But just because you say that does not give you the right to so-called cheat or certain things like that. That doesn't give you an out, because it's like you're telling me something that nobody's perfect. So why is that an excuse because you did this certain thing? And I feel like I personally, I try not to say that no more, because you have to almost strive for perfection, knowing that you're not going to reach it. And that's how you continue to grow. So every time I hear that, I'm gonna be like, I'm not perfect. We know that already. So why? So you saying that does what?
Nah, I dig what you're saying 100%. I think it's more, it's an accountability part to it. It's more so people say they're not perfect when they don't want to own up to what they did. So
yeah.
So if let's just say I won't use cheating because that's our favorite thing, because that's men's favorite thing to do. But let's just say somebody I'll give you a good example. Here we go. When I used to be a CO and I would have conversations with some of the inmates, a lot of them that they committed heinous crimes or whatever the case may be, they would be like, I'm not perfect, whatever the case is. Yes, you're not perfect, and we're none of us are perfect. But at the end of the day, one thing that you realize is there are consequences for your actions. So instead of saying I'm not perfect, I would rather you just say I learned from it. I learned. I paid the price for it, and I'm moving forward with my life. I think a lot of people say I'm not perfect just because they want to continue to do what they do and make the same mistake repeatedly, and just say I'm working on it or I'm trying to figure it out. One of my pet peeves is when people like, I'm trying. I hate I'm trying. You're either gonna do it or you're not. I don't know what trying is. To me, trying is a cop out for effort. Like you didn't accomplish it. So like I'm trying to do it. No, just say you're doing it or you're not doing it. Either one. But when you say I'm trying, it's kind of the same thought process as what you're saying as far as what did you say? I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I'm not perfect. I feel like that's a cop out.
I hear that a lot too, and it's funny you said that, but I hear that a lot with the church. They'll like they'll
Yeah.
say they like pastors or leaders that
Mm-hmm.
that are transparent and they're not.
Yeah.
They another version that would be like, art thou holier than thou? Like, that
Yeah.
type of,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what it does is it tries to leave a gap for mistakes that that you're gonna make.
Mm-hmm.
When if you were actually mindful of the mistakes that you're gonna make, you actually wouldn't do them. If I
Mm-hmm.
can think about it, then I can not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that I think is involuntary is the way your heart beats, blood flowing through
Yeah.
your veins,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The muscles
Yeah.
that have no kind of control, mental, like meaning like mentality behind it, they're just something
Mm-hmm.
God placed in you to keep you alive. That's the only thing you realistically can't control. Everything else is from your mind and your willpower to understand. Because if I can think about doing something wrong, I can think about not doing it or doing
Mm-hmm.
something right.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason too. I'm big strive for perfection, and then if you fall short, at least you're still excellent.
Yeah.
But nah, I agree. It definitely sounds like a major cop out to
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
it's whack. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
it's whack.
Yeah.
It's corny. But I'm glad you brought that one up. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front.
All right, so we can move forward into the maturity process. Now, I just wanted to
Okay.
get that. I was like, yo, that was on my mind. Like everybody saying, yo, I'm not perfect, so
I'm not perfect, so I do this. I'm not perfect, so I do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
nah,
oh,
yeah.
hold on. Can I get one more in?
Go ahead, go
Don't
ahead.
don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
those go hand in hand.
I
Don't
feel like
judge me, and I'm not perfect.
I feel like you're judging me.
Yeah, yeah.
Actions have judgments. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the nature of the beast.
Yeah,
That sounds crazy to me when people go, "You don't judge me." No, I have a right to judge you because you do a
exactly.
public action. If I see it, I can judge it.
That's a fact. That's
Period.
a fact.
That shows me your character. What do you mean don't judge you? If I don't
Yeah,
like something you're doing, I have a right to say I don't like it. I think that's wrong.
yeah,
The same way
yeah,
you have the same right to do something that whatever it is that you choose to do. But
yeah.
that whole don't judge me. This generation, like the younger generation,
Oh yeah, don't
they
judge me.
they
Don't
love
judge
that.
me.
And don't worry, not judging you is fine.
Yeah.
I caution you though.
Yo, this
Understand, it's
this
gonna
falls right
be a
into
rocky
what we're
road.
going on.
It's definitely a rocky road with the whole don't judge me thing, especially with this generation. They do things without rhyme or reason. They do things. A lot of things are just based off feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Mm-hmm.
not. They don't really take in 10 years from now. They don't think about it like that. They just think, oh, I feel like doing it now, so I'm gonna do it. Oh, I feel like smoking now, oh, so I'm gonna do it. I feel like being whatever they want to do. Whatever it is they choose
Yeah.
to do, that might not be beneficial to your future. And if you try to talk to them about it, forget it. They're the most sensitive people, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like I said, me personally, when it comes to the younger generation, I don't even talk about the things they do to them. Like,
Yeah.
I just focus on actually the generation under them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like that middle school, like seventh grade and down, those are the kids I'm trying to reach, because anything from ninth grade to about 25, that generational gap, they're lost
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a few dime a dozens where you be like, yo, they really got it together, and you could tell they're gonna be something. But for the majority of them, they're all pretty much followers. Monkey see, monkey do. You
Yeah.
know.
That falls in line with exactly what I wanted to get into, like with the maturity process.
Mm-hmm.
Like the subtitle to that is "Truth Hurts."
Truth
Like,
hurts. I like that.
because you know how I'm gonna give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody came to me for marital advice, right?
Yeah.
I did not ask them if they wanted marital advice.
Mm-hmm.
They came to me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I proceed to tell them, but what I'm telling them is not what they want to hear.
Okay.
So now they shut down
Yes.
because I'm telling you what you need to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're in a weird place now where it's like when I tell you something that's real, or you hating. Like it's hard to be honest and
Authentic.
truthful. Yeah, because I get it. What I'm saying may be the truth, and it might hurt, but that's okay. That's how you grow. That's part of the maturity process, and people don't understand that. When you get to a place where you can take criticism and you can take it and really, okay, you know what? You're right. But a lot of people have a problem taking that. Like, for an example, I think it was maybe last week. My wife came up to me. She was like, with some situation, she was like, "You've been going back and forth on that. Like, I can see you not really centered on what you're saying right now." And I was like, "I know." She was like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah." Before you even came back and talked to me, I had to talk with myself before you even came back and talked to me. Like, yeah, I'm bugging right now. I'm not. I'm playing the fence on this right now. And she's like, "Oh wow." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I talked to myself. Like, I don't. When you that's the maturity process. When you constantly checking yourself and constantly on yourself, like, you know what? Let me see what's going on right now. Let me see what I'm doing. And if I was on some other timeline and she would have told me about myself, I'd have been like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like, how you gonna tell me that?" And it's so hard to tell people the truth nowadays because they take it as you hating. I see stuff and I be like, I know I can't say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing because you automatically are gonna say I'm hating. So I'm gonna fall back. And that's crazy because that doesn't help anyone.
Nah, I agree. It's I will say this. The mentality of a leader is far and few in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty discouraging to see how many of the younger generation, and I don't even want to say the younger generation.
Yeah, it's people in
It's
general.
hard. It's hard to see people, men especially, who are not leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say leaders, I mean I'm not talking about, oh, you do your own thing. I'm not speaking specifically because anybody can say I do my own thing and I'm a leader. I'm talking about real substance to your mentality where you're actually empowering your family or
Mm.
the people you're around to become something more than what they are, right? I look at the African American community, and it is a very crab in a barrel type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody trying to grab each other to get up. You know what I mean? That type of thought process. But I also take myself and put my thoughts into retrospect. So if I'm close to you, right? If you my man, I want to see you do better than what you're doing. Even if you're doing good, I
Mm-hmm.
want to see even more.
Mm-hmm.
And the same expectations I have for myself, I place them on you. And the thing about it is, a lot of people go, you can't do that. But no, you can do that, especially if I want good for my own self, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying I want this, I want to accomplish these goals, I want my family to be at this level, I want to be at this, I want to be able to provide to the point where generations are benefiting from me, right? Why wouldn't I want a friend that would hold me to those same standards, right?
Mm.
But what I realized is that it's that birds of a feather flock together type mentality.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so what it ended up doing is it isolated me personally from people who I feel like are non-productive. And
Mm-hmm.
if I was to really have a conversation with certain people, right? And tell
Mm-hmm.
them exactly what I think about, and not in a mean way, just a very practical analysis of their life. Meaning,
Yeah.
okay, if you, not saying you're not striving to be better, if that's what you're gonna say, because everybody else say, I'm trying. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like this. If here's an example. I'm gonna use myself. I'm not gonna you
Yeah.
like get right. So me personally, I had a child when I was 19, right? I'm not with his mother anymore. I learned from my mistakes. Me and my wife currently have a child. We're married. We're doing great. We're moving forward. We're elevating, right? I look at a guy who made the same mistake I did, right? And then made it 4 more times. You have
Mm.
5 different baby moms,
Mm.
right? And then me personally, I would go to them and go, okay, you obviously didn't learn because you made the same mistake over and over and over again. But if I was to go say that to them,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
you hating, like, how you gonna
Yeah.
tell me how to live my
You
life?
think you
Uh,
perfect.
you think you, and it's like, no, it's not that. It's a very healthy analysis of your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. When decisions are public, they're allowed to be scrutinized. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
make private mistakes, keep it private. Nobody will ever know. Nobody has to have an opinion on it, right? But when you're dealing with this generation, and this goes for grown men too, or age-wise, whatever you want to call, across the board, you tell them that your lifestyle is not a reflection of something conducive that will help your family. I guarantee you, they'll lose. They'll be ready to fight. Guarantee. Guarantee. Guarantee.
See, I
Same
got
exact
another
thing.
example on that. I got another example on that. And I like to make it real practical. That's why I like to use example. So I love motorcycles, right? Still to this, I love motorcycles. Like I'm a big even when I'm now as a grown man, I'm driving. If I see a motorcycle, I will turn and look like, oh. So now I wanted to sell. I thought about selling my bike, right? Listen to the people who I went to talk about it. I went to you that don't ride a bike and have a family. I asked Charlie about it that don't ride a bike that has a family. And one other person I went to Kiko, he had a bike but sold it and he has a family, right? I could have easily went to somebody that loves my motorcycles just as much as me, and I told them like, yo, I'm thinking about selling my bike. They're like, nah, you bugging, bro. Don't sell it. Why would you sell it? Come on, man. But I wanted to go to people that didn't have the same mindset as me when it came to motorcycles. So I went to you. I was like, yo, I'm thinking about somebody. He's like, yo, bro, sell it. Yo, bro, you had your fun, ain't worth it. I went to Charlie. He was like, yo, bro, I've been waiting for you to sell it. I've been telling you, like, bro, it's about time. And Q was like, yo, bro, it ain't worth it. Sell it. So I didn't go to people that was going to tell me what I wanted to hear. Because I wanted somebody to tell me, like, yo, bro, man, don't sell your bike. That's your favorite bike right there. You love bikes. Like, don't sell it. I could have easily went that route, but I went to people that I knew. I was like, I know they're going to say sell it. See, that's a maturity thing where it's like, you know what you need to hear, but you don't want to hear it. I went to people that I knew would tell me what I need to hear instead of going to people that I know would tell me like, nah, you good, bro, keep your bike. But going to y'all was like, yo, bro, you got a family, you had your fun, man, bro, just sell your bike. Imagine if you was a friend that don't keep it real with me and wanted to keep me happy. And be like, yo, bro, you love that bike. Don't do it. Don't do it. But y'all was like, yo, bro, sell it, bro. It ain't worth it.
I feel you. I think one thing that I realized too when it comes to maturity, that men specifically, they surround, and I'm glad you said it, but people surround themselves with what they want to hear or what they want to do. So I don't chill with dudes that cheat because I don't want to cheat. I don't chill with dudes that smoke because I don't smoke. I don't chill with dudes that whatever it is. Let me see what else. I don't chill. No funny, but like I don't really have a lot of friends that don't work out. If that's the best way to say it, I don't have that. So I surround myself with people who will empower the good in me, so I can reciprocate that energy to them. And together is where you'll grow. I can't help but to think. And I think we just looked it up too. That scripture when they're saying about a child having a certain mentality.
Oh yeah, child that thinks as a child.
Yeah, it's when I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put my childish mind frame away. I'm like, if that's not the perfect analogy for the system that has plagued, I just want to say that the mentality that has plagued Black men specifically. Like I said, we can only speak from a Black perspective because obviously we're Black. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like I could have a conversation about a family with you, and we'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll be here with it. Right. But I could talk to somebody else about like their I guess their family ties or whatever their family, and they just sound so stupid. Like the whole, oh yeah, I'm trying to see if I still got it, or like she can never go through my phone, or you need to trust me, and it's just like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where if I thought like a child, if
Mm-hmm.
I thought when I was a kid, right, when I was dating and I had girlfriends, and I was like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
you can't go through my phone now, like, nah, you ain't going through. To me, I thought like that as a child,
Mm.
right? But when I became a man, that stuff didn't matter anymore. So I didn't
Yeah.
think like that anymore.
Yeah.
But you don't see that progression in men. It's
Mm.
yo, I think about dudes that I know, and I look at them and I'm just like, I get it. Follow your dreams, okay?
Yeah.
You know,
I already know where you go.
like, I'm not gonna
I
OD.
already know where you
I'm not gonna
going.
OD. I'm not gonna
I
OD.
know.
I'm not gonna OD. But I get it. Follow your dreams, okay?
Yo.
Um, do your thing. All right, fine. All I'm saying is, if you had that thought, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mentality. If you had those thoughts when you were 21, 22, and you're past 30 still thinking the same way, you need to reevaluate yourself. I don't even have to say it. You know who you are. You know exactly who you are and the way you think. And there's nothing more
At what point do you cut
embarrassing.
it off though?
I mean, listen. And honestly, we talk about marriage a lot, but we need to start really specifying this, because we're
Yeah.
not just talking about getting married. We're talking about having a successful, happy, long-lasting marriage. We're not talking
Yeah.
about, yo, I'm just married to you because you're the last girl I had a baby with, and all right, we're gonna just stick it out because I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about that. I'm talking about really marrying a person you genuinely want to be with, that you have a friendship with, that you can build with. They have goals, you have goals, y'all have goals together. That's what we're talking about. So we need to even be careful how we structure when we say
Yeah.
marriage. No, we're talking about happy homes. That's what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
Happy homes. And we're talking about homes. We're not talking about the whole, yeah,
Yeah.
now, I when I get mad at you, I go somewhere and I do my thing
Mm-hmm.
because I'm mad at you. No, we're talking about genuine dudes who really get the concept of what a marriage and a happy home is supposed to look like. And I
And
think that part of the maturation process really has to be adjusted.
and like you said, being that husband starts with going from a boy to becoming a man.
Hmm.
And one thing I love about what you say, like how you have a child, but you're not with her. Most men, and this might not even be big to you, but every time I hear you say it, it's like you never call Cam's mom your baby mom.
Never,
You never call her that.
never.
And that takes a different type of maturity.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard somebody that I know that had a
Hmm.
kid with a woman that he's not with, not call her his baby moms. You're the
Yeah.
only person that
Yeah.
I've met that has a child with someone that he's not married to or with and don't call her baby moms.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
is a different type of mentality.
Yeah.
That's a different type of mindset. You even say like to Cam, that's his mom. She's gonna be a queen to him. That's Cam's mother. It's not my baby
Right.
mom.
Yeah.
And little things like that helps you see the difference between your situation and most men that have problems with their baby moms. Because
I'll give it.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. I
No, no,
want you
no.
to elaborate on that.
All right. So this is the problem, right? Majority of men who have children and then they're not with the mother, they're actually more bitter than they think, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't own up to their real feelings behind it. Me, because I owned up to my actions, it leaves no room for me to blame her. So if
Mm-hmm.
I have no room to blame her, then I don't have ill will towards her. So
Mm-hmm.
it's never gonna be a thing where, I'm like, yo, I can't believe she did this. I can't believe I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna do that. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna live her life. I have to adjust to it because at the end of the day, guess what? This is the situation I put myself in.
Mm-hmm.
I can't control what
Mm-hmm.
she does, and I'm not gonna try to. I'm just gonna do my best to adjust. I might make suggestions, but who's not gonna make a suggestion? Ultimately, I'm gonna adjust to how I need to adjust to be there for my son. Now, that whole stereotype of, oh, baby moms, blah blah blah. I mean, I listen to dudes, and it's monkey see, monkey do. They heard
Yeah.
somebody say, "Oh, that's my baby mom's, my baby mom's." And it's like, look,
Mm-hmm.
that's not my baby's mother. Okay, that's Cameron's mom. And to
Mm-hmm.
be honest with you, it allows me to keep a level of respect for her because
Mm.
I'm always
Say that
conscious of
again.
how.
Say that
All right,
again.
I'll give it to you again since it was such
A
a good
level
gem.
of, say that
All
again,
right,
bro.
fine. I'll do it again. Fine. Here we go. Remix. Bring it back. All right. So what it is I understand my position, and I understand how important my perspective is towards his mother
Mm.
because he's gonna look at me and how I treat his mom.
Mm.
So I don't ever want to disrespect her. So I'm conscious of what I'll call her. So when I say Cameron's mother, I really mean that. That's his mother. The same way Christian has my wife as his mother, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
that's my wife, so obviously it's different in the sense of we're connected, me and my wife.
Yeah.
But I still keep in mind in the bigger spectrum of things that these are two boys who love their mothers.
Mm.
And I'm going to treat them both with respect, regardless of the situation. Now, obviously, my wife is much different because our bond is forever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when I look at Cam, I want to make sure that he has a good relationship with his mother. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
always going to empower him to have that. I'm never going to be the one to say, oh, your mother did this or your mother did that. I'm always going to be the one to say, listen, your mother is exactly what you think she is. So
Mm-hmm.
I allow him to paint his own picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel like his picture's a little distorted, meaning in a negative towards his mom, I'll correct it. So if he feels a certain way towards his mom about something, I'm like, nah, don't. That's not how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure that I do my best to protect that relationship because truth of the matter is, if he has a bad relationship with his mom, I wouldn't be able to repair that. And
Mm.
that's important to me. So,
Mm.
that's what it
I
comes
don't I
from.
don't even want to run past this. I don't even want to jump in here. I want to ask you something. I think this is really good. I think this could help a lot of men right here. I want to stay here. I want to ask you something. How were you able to get to that mindset? Because there's a lot of men out there that listen to you like, yeah, I don't know. I got baby moms. Like, how did you get to this place? I want men to really try to understand what mindset that you had to be able to get here.
So I had Cam when I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was I was in school. I was in college. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
little bit different for me. I was home on the weekends, whatever the case may be. And at that time she stayed with my family. So what it ended up doing was I was the one leaving, going away and coming in, going in and out of his life. So regardless of what she did, I've always was just looking at myself and my lifestyle. Now
Mm.
granted, you can say, yeah, but you were in school. But yeah, at the end of the day, I was in school, but guess what? I wasn't there with my son and I wasn't
Mhm.
exactly living the right lifestyle.
Okay, hold on.
Right?
Step one, accountability. Step one.
100%.
Okay, keep
100%.
going.
Self
I'm making it
self
real
reflecting.
tangible for y'all.
Own up to your lifestyle. And is your lifestyle willing to help or is it helping your child? Two
Mm-hmm.
was really taking the time to have a conversation with yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
not so much of a how do I say this the right way? Not so much of a conversation where you're blaming yourself or you're holding pity
Mm-hmm.
towards yourself. More of a conversation where it was like, how can I make this better in
Mm.
in my world, right? What kind of
Mm.
culture can I create that is going to be healthy for my son and allow me not to make the same mistake again, right? That was really the transition point. And I'm gonna be honest, that probably
Being
took
willing to grow.
being willing to grow, accepting growth.
That
And
too, right there.
you know what it is? I will say this. Nobody had to be hard on me. Nobody had to tell me about myself because I was already telling myself about myself. I
Mm.
already knew. So if anybody
Mm.
would have came to me and said, you really don't spend that much time with your son, I would have been like, yeah, I know. I wish I could spend more time. Or if somebody would have said, you're treating his mom a certain way, I knew that already. Like there was nothing that no one could say or look at me and try to, if they want to say judge, which they had a right to do because
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm affecting my family, right? There was nothing nobody could say that would have shocked me, if that's the best way
Mm-hmm.
to say it. But that took about, I want to say I was 21 when it really hit, probably 6 years.
Mm.
It was like a 6 year process of
Wow.
um of just really looking at myself and just really understanding what type of father do I want to be. So I had to deal with a lot of baggage I had personally with my own dad,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of hurt that I dealt with throughout my childhood. I had to really address those things and be able to be okay with it, in the sense of like, hey, you're who you are now because of the situation. I wish you didn't have to go. And I tell myself all the time, I have like this picture of my younger self, and I tell
Mm-hmm.
him like, hey, yo, I wish you didn't have to go through what you did. But listen, you here now. You're a better man for it, and let's rock and roll. Let's do what we got to do. You a champ for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do. But I look at that picture also when I see my sons, and I go, y'all will never go through this. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's the double-edged sword. I make sure they know they're never gonna go through, and I'll tell them to their face too, obviously. And then honestly, the last step was just being able to look at Cam's mom and say, I want for myself what I want for you. I
Mm-hmm.
want, I want, I want a family. I want a wife. I mean, obviously I have a wife, but I want a family. I want a home. And I want the
Selfless.
same for her.
Selfless.
You know what I mean? And I want the same for her. I genuinely want, I want good for her. I want nothing but prosperity, and she has a great boyfriend, and I'm very grateful of him, because
Mm.
obviously, if he was a dirtbag, it would make my job as Cam's father way harder, because
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not I'm not the type of person that'll take light to disrespect, and I'm definitely not gonna accept it if it's coming towards my child. I'm
Mm.
gonna have a real issue. So the fact that he carries himself with such respect and they're building towards the future, I do my best to stay out of it and encourage it. I don't throw no shade that way. I talk to Cam about, you
Mm.
know, hopefully his future stepfather, and I hope they take that next step. And I encourage that. And I always say I really like him, and I tell Cam that. But it was really just being able to say, hey, look, everything I want for myself, I want for her, because at the end of the day, what benefits her benefits Cam, and ultimately he is the reason for the season. If that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it was, and I'm
Uh,
not gonna front. I still have my days.
yeah.
I dealt
Yeah.
with a lot. I dealt with a lot of depression behind it, because
Yeah.
what
You made me
happens is,
cry on Monday, bro. Real talk. Real talk,
nah, it
bro.
was nah. I deal with it, because it's like, you can't, and I say this all the time, you can't put into words what it feels like not to be around your child when you want to be around them. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so, let me put you onto this too. I'm so conscious of it that when he's with me, I kind of feel bad for her too, because I know she knows what
Mm.
I'm feeling, you
Mm.
know. But it's just the cards that we were dealt at this time, and he'll get older. And one thing I will say is that, as much pain as I felt, if you met Cam, I mean, people who haven't met him, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know nothing. You would think that my
That's
boy
true.
grew up in the A1. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
would think, because he definitely doesn't have any side effects of it. I mean, not yet at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Not yet at least. That's all I can say. But
I
no,
think
it's
that's why
it's
it's
rough.
important for people to see that you have to go through the process. Some people just stop at the beginning. I got a baby mom's cool, whatever. But you didn't stop there. You kept growing with your maturity. And that's what we're talking about here, the maturity process. Like you making it plain for people. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to just stay in the forefront of your situation.
Hmm.
You can keep growing and maturing so that you can get to this place here where you're not, where your so-called baby moms ain't banging at your door,
Yeah.
trying to
No,
kick your
that's
door
true.
down. We see those situations all the time, and it's like, how did that start?
Hmm.
Where did
Hmm.
that come from?
I think too, what played a major part, and I know a lot of guys are scared to do it, but I went to court.
Mm,
I went through the legal process, and it worked out in my favor. It worked, honestly. I'm okay with the
yeah.
arrangement, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
it worked out both parties, because what it did was, it took away the emotional decisions and it made it very practical, which is why I love law so much, because
Mm-hmm.
it's very cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
So it eliminated the arguing, it eliminated the miscommunication. It made it
Yeah.
very cut and dry. This is when I get them. This is when you get them.
Yeah.
Period. And what it did was, it allowed. I think it just put closure on everything. Where, like, she's able to understand where I stand. I'm able to understand where she stands, and we move like that. But I wouldn't. This is why I was just saying though, as far as guys who do this multiple times,
Mm.
what are you doing? I mean, you probably made the mistake already, but I know what you're gonna say. I'm not perfect. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. You're not perfect, but at the end of the day, how many times do you make the same mistake? Like throughout your you're gonna say throughout your maturation process, you're gonna make mistakes. I'm not opposed to mistakes.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying. Specifically making the same mistake over and over again, you're a fool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all it is. You're a
Yeah.
fool.
Yeah.
Right? So, when I think about that type of mentality and having repeated mistakes over and over again, to me, you don't want to learn and you just don't want to grow.
And it's like that quote, a fool learns from his own mistake. A
Wow.
wise man learns from someone else's mistake. So someone listening to you right now that doesn't have that situation, they should take heed on what you're saying. Like, you know what? Maybe I really need to get myself together.
Facts.
Maybe because I remember when you used to talk to me about it, and I used to be like, dang, bro, I don't know how you do it.
I used to warn. I warned many people, bro. Many. I had a friend that asked me about it. He said, he's like, yo, what is it like? Like, what is it like? Basically, like he was thinking about, him and his girl, and they might not last or whatever. I said it's like waking up without an arm, and you're trying to clap your hands.
You trying, but it just ain't there. That's fine. Ooh.
Waking up
If that don't make you want to be celibate right now, bruh, if that don't make you tell yourself, like, you know what, I am saving it for marriage, bruh.
Nah, that's what I told him. I said it's like waking up, like you had an arm, then you woke up, it was gone, and then you tried to clap your hands. It just didn't happen, But I always tell God, I'm pro family. I'm pro get married, be with your wife, and have a happy life, and be a good husband. That's what I'm about. And this is why I say, that's perfect that you use that analogy. Was like they say I'm not perfect. We're not saying that you have to be perfect, because obviously none of us are perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's perfect.
I'm telling you specifically right now, my biggest mistake in my life, right? What was the changing, defining moment in my life was when I became a father. And it came off of a mistake, realistically. Not saying that my child's a mistake, not saying that the relationship was a mistake, but the process of me having intercourse before marriage, I shouldn't have did it. It was a sin and it was a mistake. Even though I was conscious of it and I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, I did it. But when you look at it, even through those 6 years, I was probably, I forgot what age it was, but I went celibate for like 9 to 10 months, just nothing.
I remember that.
Just to prove to myself that I had control over my body. And one thing that I'm very conscious of is that my mind must serve me.
Yeah.
I'm not letting my emotions dictate to my mind and I'm moving off of emotion. Nah. I got full control over my mind.
Yeah.
Full control. And my mind serves me at all costs. I refuse to ever let anything get outside of my thought process to the point where I'm doing something, I go, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Right?
Yeah,
So,
that I know for a fact, because there's certain stuff that might come in my mind, and I can literally tell myself like, yo, you bugging, why you thinking that? I'm gonna be very practical. I was at work, I was listening to the radio. They was talking about Serena Williams when she was wearing that black cat outfit, right?
Oh,
they was talking about it, right? And I was thinking, I was listening but daydreaming at the same time. And then they was talking about, I'm like, yeah, that jump was crazy. And I started thinking about it. And then it wasn't, I said, yeah, that was crazy. Her outfit was crazy. But then I kept thinking about it. I was like, yo, that. Then I stopped myself, I'm like, yo, bro, are you lusting right now? I literally said that. I'm like, are you lusting right now? Yo, chill out, cut that out. And literally was gone.
Thanks.
I had to check myself, like, yo, all right, you did too much. Chill. You lusting right now. All right, keep it moving. And I was able to check myself, like, yo, keep it moving, because what you don't understand is when you keep letting those thoughts play over and over and over, it becomes a reality. Now let me explain. Let me make it real practical. Be like, wow, Serena Williams, you'll never meet her. okay, look at it. When you get this mentality, that's when you really understand. What if one day I'm driving or I go to the store and I see a woman that reminds me exactly of Serena Williams? I've already replayed that thought in my mind over and over. So now when I see her, that's when that temptation. You just built that temptation on yourself. She didn't tempt you. You already built that. So now when I see her, it's like, oh shoot, she look crazy. Hey, now I'm fiending. But the fact that I was able to cut that out of my mind, that split second, if I see somebody that looks like Serena Williams walking past, it's like, oh, she's pretty cool. Keep it moving. That's that maturity process. That's that growth to where you can see somebody that look good. We say it all the time. Women don't stop being ugly when you get married.
Women don't stop looking good.
They don't. But once you build that mentality to where I can see somebody, cool, I can appreciate it, keep it moving. And that's why it's important to be able to check yourself and not to be like, oh, she's a celebrity. I'm never gonna run into her. There's little things like that.
It's basically the same thought as you hit singles, right? So you every time you check yourself on little things, eventually big things become normal. Like honestly, if a woman was to throw herself at me right now, I would look at her like she was crazy. Are you out of your mind? You need to go about your life. You know what I mean? But it's because of those type of practices where it's every day you checking yourself, even to the point where you need to check yourself what you're looking at on Instagram. You need to check yourself what you're looking at on YouTube.
Definitely.
It's times where I'm not a big Instagrammer, but one thing I hate, and I got to give it to these people because they're definitely geniuses. But Instagram is addicting because like I might do it 3 times a week, right? But those 3 days, I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, yo, if I see somebody on my timeline that got a thong on and she throwing it back or whatever it is, I'm like, all right, it's time to unfollow her. Or if I go on, for real, listen, even if on YouTube, I'm a big YouTube person. I love YouTube.
Yeah.
And if I go on YouTube and I see like too many like drug, the drug documentaries or something like that, I'm not interested, so get off my feed. Or whatever it is. Whatever it is, I don't want to feed my mind. I'm conscious of what I'm listening to and watching because it feeds your mind. Your mind is the strongest muscle you have in your body, but it's also the most gentle, right? It's very fragile in the sense of it's like a vacuum. Anything that you put in it sits. So you if you're not conscious of it, right? If you're not conscious of it, if I'm saying that my mind is gonna serve me, right? But you're not conscious of what you're feeding your mind on a consistent basis, then it's too weak to even serve you. It becomes it's like having arms with no muscles. Like it's pointless. I mean, no offense to nobody. I didn't mean it like that. But if you're not working out the muscle to benefit you, then what is it there for? And the fact that you say like you check yourself constantly, that's just. I'm pretty sure you wasn't doing that as a 16-year-old.
No.
I'm pretty sure you were, just if you think it, I'm gonna do it as a 16-year-old.
Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah.
And I look at that's what I'm saying. So we got men now who they think it and then they do it. And it's like you look so stupid. I can't. There's no words to express how dumb a man looks when you have a whole family at home and you still creeping. You look dumb, okay? And that's that. And I'm sorry if you don't have friends that tell you that.
Yeah.
But let me be the first to tell you. Let me be the first to tell you, you look foolish. And not only do you look foolish, you're not only dishonoring and disrespecting your family, you're disrespecting yourself. Because truth of the matter is, it's like this. I see so many men who are successful who eat and do all these things, and then eventually what happens? They're giving half of their fortune away to their wives, right? Then I see, this is why I know money has nothing to do with it. Then I see dudes who don't even have that much that do it. And you're not only, your family is at the, I hate to say it like this, but your family's already in a struggling situation, right? And that is stressful. Financial difficulties is stressful. But you're so ignorant and you're so irresponsible that you will add on stress to your wife, who probably is already stressed out about money. Now she got to be stressed out about you cheating on her. It's like
Mm.
I'll never understand it. You know, I get it in this sense. If I'm a kid and I didn't know any better,
You're
fine.
thinking like a kid.
Exactly. You're thinking
Yeah.
as a child. But
Yeah.
when I became a man and I realized what men are supposed to be and the burden that men are supposed to carry and the responsibility and how you're supposed to conduct yourself and who you're supposed to be for your kids, your wife, your friends, your community, what type of role model you're supposed to be, you don't even have time to play those kind
Mm.
of games. You don't
You know
there's no
what?
time for that.
You know what? I think the problem with a lot of men, and they might not even realize this, they fear they fear the expectations of what they say. Let me give you an
Okay.
example. Make it
All
clear
right.
for you. For an example, me and you can say, I'll never cheat on my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We can say that boldly,
Yep.
right? But a man can look at us and say, man, I say I'll never cheat on my wife, but you can never say never. Things happen, right?
Oh God, I hate that.
I'm gonna tell you how dangerous that is. We can say we'll never cheat on our wife, right? Okay, let's say there's a door, right? By me saying that, the door is closed,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the door is still there.
Mm-hmm.
All all the temptation can do is just knock on that door. But
Mm-hmm.
now I have the power to decide if I'm gonna open it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna cheat, but you never know, anything can happen, that same door is cracked.
Yep.
So now the temptation don't have to knock. It can just come in.
Call your name.
It can come in now. So now it's harder for you because now you see the temptation. If I already have that door closed, I can't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
So when it does come knock, I'm just blinders. But
Mm-hmm.
when you say like, yo, I never say never, like you never know, anything can happen. You left that door cracked. So now when that temptation looks in that door, it's easier for you to cheat because now you can see it. You can see yourself with whatever that is. But
Mm-hmm.
me, because that's what I'm trying to explain. The door is still there for both
Mm-hmm.
situations.
Facts.
It's how you allow that door to be closed,
Mm-hmm.
locked, or cracked open. And once you
You
get
know.
that mindset, like, yo, I'm
Yep.
not even gonna let that door be cracked open.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna let I can tell you 100% I'm never gonna cheat on my wife. I
Simple
can say
and
that. And
confident.
I'm gonna say that
Facts.
because I know I'm not. And when you have that mindset, that keeps temptation, like you don't even know what temptation is. You be like, what?
You know
She
what it
look
is?
good.
It's it's reality or it's perception. It's perception,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that there aren't women out there. What I'm saying is my perception of reality is that my wife is the only one that I want, and that's the only one I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as leaving opportunities to be dumb, which is what it
Yeah.
is,
Yep.
you're basically saying you when you say
Yep.
you never know what can happen, you might as well just also say what was that phrase you said in the beginning? Um,
Which
what
one?
was
Oh,
the
I'm not
phrase?
perfect.
I'm not perfect. That
Yeah.
you leaving it.
Yeah.
Everything is a cop out. Everything is a
Yeah.
cop out, so you don't got to be a man of your word. That's
Exactly.
all it is. Everything's
Yeah.
a cop out. And when I think about men and what their standards are, I have to address the women too, because I'm like, all right. So my question is always to women is like, why do women allow men to do what they do? Right. And when I say this, I mean it in this sense. Why
Mm.
do women accept guys cheating on them? Why do women accept men just the overall
Being able to treat
disrespect
them
that
however.
exactly whatever like have its cake and eat it too? Why we accept that? Because this is the truth. That door is a representation of women. They're the gatekeepers. If they don't open the door, you can't go in, right? So if
Easy.
she goes, hey, this is my door.
Yep.
I have one key. I own this key, right? my key, it only way you even get a chance to look at my key is if I have a ring on my finger, right? And not
Mm,
only do I have a ring on my finger, we're really married, right?
mm.
Now I trust you to give you my key, right? But let me just warn you before you come into these premises, there's standards here. Disrespect, don't talk to me any way you feel like it. Treat me like a
Yep.
woman, treat me like a lady. Take care of this, take care of that. Like these are standards that are okay for you to have. And it's just sad because I feel like women lack the confidence to to
Mm,
have those standards, if that's the best way to put it. I
mm-hmm.
think I think if they I think they conducted themselves with such a confidence in themselves where it's like I
Yeah.
don't care whether I end up alone. These are my standards. Somebody's either gonna raise up to them or that's it, right?
Yeah.
Because I best believe when a man wants you, he gonna elevate. He gonna my man gonna step on shoe boxes.
Yeah.
he gonna climb trees. He gonna do whatever he gotta do to get what he wants. And
Yeah.
if you're what he wants, as you let him go through that process, that maturation process to get
Mm-hmm.
you and make you his wife, because that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, and have
Yeah.
a happy marriage, we gotta
Yeah.
specify, you'll see what type of man he really is. Because
Yeah.
the judge of a man is always in his hardest time. So I'm not saying make it hard in the sense of make it miserable. What I'm saying is don't budge on your standards.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't budge on your
Yeah.
standards. Just keep your standards where they need to be because ultimately you will thank yourself for it. He will thank you for it. And there's gonna be a level of respect that is I honestly say the way I respect my wife is much different than any other woman
Yeah.
that I've ever been
Yeah.
with. The level of
Yeah.
respect I have for her is it's extreme, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a
Yeah.
very respectful dude. Like I respect everybody, women
Mm-hmm.
included. But the level of respect I have for my wife is no
Mm.
comparison to it.
And I think that's why it's so important for that maturity level for you becoming from a boy to a
Hmm.
man,
Yep.
because when you become a man, then those tangible things of being a husband fall in line with that. And it makes
Mm.
it easier for the women when they find you at that place already. It's not that much of a clash
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think the problem is a lot of women are finding so-called men that are still boys.
Yep. Fact.
So when you haven't come through that process of becoming a man, if I find you, if I'm a woman, I'll find you as a boy. I got two steps now. I gotta get you to become a man.
I gotta raise you.
I gotta raise you to become a man. Then I gotta get you to become a husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's where the problems lie. And a lot of women, I think sometimes they don't catch it until
Mhm.
it's too late.
Mhm.
And I think that's why, I was like, well, how can you allow a man to do it? They're stuck because I didn't know he was a little boy. I got stuck with him. So now I done got him to a teenager. We're struggling at the teenage age. I feel like if I got this teenage, I could get him to man. Once I get him to man, we almost there. You know what I'm saying?
And he's 40.
You feel me? You feel me? So it's like I done invested all this time in this little boy, and now he's gonna cheat on me when he's almost a man. Now he done cheated on me, and now he done finally matured and found a woman that's mature. And now that girl is bitter because like I done put all this time into this boy. He done became a man and got married, living a great life, and I'm stuck here having to start over because I didn't put all this work in this dude. And I think that's where a lot of hurt women come
Nah, that was the best way to put it. I can't. That's really the truth, man. That's crazy.
from.
Even to
Yeah,
think about that's sad and crazy.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think that when ultimately with the maturation process, you have to you have to be confident in your abilities to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't be so. God bless you.
Thank you.
And you can't be so
I don't got corona.
stubborn. I was about to say it too. I ain't gonna say nothing about it, but yeah. No, but you have to just be confident in your ability to mature. That's the only the way I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the first thing is taking accountability. That's
Yeah.
really all it is. I mean, that's really the best way to put it, because what happens is when you take accountability for your actions and the things that you're doing, what eventually starts to happen is you want to improve. So now, instead of looking for things that entertain you, you're going to look for things that help you improve your mentality. So
Mm-hmm.
if I realize, yo, I'm, okay, all right, fine, let's do it. If I'm a cheater, right? And I know, like, I'm watching all of these girls on Instagram, I'm done. Now I'm gonna be like, yo, maybe I should substitute the videos of these girls for, I think I want to open up a business. I bet. Maybe I should watch some real estate business, or maybe I should look into classes, or whatever the case may be that'll help educate you. I think the maturity process is 100% education and understanding where you need to be mentally to get where you need to be physically. And I think once you accomplish things in your mind, you're pretty much done. That's half the battle right there, because it makes it way easier when you can envision something, envision a certain lifestyle, envision goals, and they start to play in your mind over and over again. It makes the action that much easier because you know where you're going and you know what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. And the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, like you said, the whole thing with the whole Serena Williams thing, that's the same. It's the same exact thing. All you
Yeah.
do is you have to reverse what you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that's definitely a maturity process that, and a journey that, men struggle with. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because of more than anything, it's because of the people they're around. They keep surrounding themselves with people who think like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a revolving door, and it's
Yeah.
sad. It really is sad because there's a lot of little boys out here playing to be men, and you 40, and ain't got nothing to show for your kids. If you die right now, what can you leave your kids? What
Mm.
have you accomplished,
Mm.
right? And I think that's what men need to start thinking about. What am I gonna leave behind for my kids that they can, build on top of? What kind of foundation did I set? But
Mm-hmm.
that maybe that's just us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're great examples of becoming a man and being able to be a husband because think about it. It didn't take us that long to marry our girlfriend
True,
because
true.
we became men.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was necessarily fully a husband yet because there was
Mhm.
little things that I still need. Like my wife in the beginning, I used to sag my pants OD crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She used to tell me like, "Why do you sag your pants so much?" I used,
Mm.
but I was mature enough to be like, maybe I need to start. I used to listen to crazy music while she in the car so much, but she wasn't built like that. So she
Mhm.
used to be like, "Why you listen to that all day long?" Like, okay, you're right. Let
Mhm.
me. But I was able because I was already became into my manhood. I was able to make that transition. Same thing with you. Like you were able to move forward. You used to curse a lot. You was able.
OD.
You was able to be told like, "Yo, why you curse so much?" They're like, "Oh,
Shouts out to Kayla. Shouts out to
yeah."
Kayla. I'll
Same
never
way she
forget that
told
day.
me. She told you. She's like, "Yo, why you curse so much?"
She's like, stop cursing. She didn't say why you curse so much. She
Yeah.
said the way she said, that's correct. That she said, for the person you're trying to portray, you need to correct the way you speak. You
Mm-hmm.
can't speak like that and say that you're a God fearing man. Those don't go hand in hand. And I never
Yeah.
forgot that. Never
Yeah.
forgot that.
Yeah. And I think that's how we're able to be married. What it took me a year. How long it took you to get married?
Maybe what, 8 months?
See?
I think I proposed in like 8 months. Word, word. It's a fact.
Yeah, I literally proposed. Matter of fact, I proposed today 5 years ago because I proposed on May 30th. Yeah,
Aw.
proposed May 30th, well, October will be 5 years, but yeah, like simple as that, man. Just you gotta just mature, go through the process to get to where you want to be. And that only takes time, that takes accountability, that takes everything we done talked about in the whole series. You can go look at everything we talked about. All of that leads into that growth process. And you definitely need that if you want to go to another place in life.
That's a fact. And when we say maturity process, we're not saying keep making the same stupid mistakes over and over
Mm-hmm.
again. That's
Mm-hmm.
not part of the process. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's just you being dumb.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make a mistake, let it be a different mistake. Let it be
Mm-hmm.
something different. Let it be something lesser. So if I made a mistake up here, let my next mistake be like down here or something where the repercussions of it, the consequences are not severe.
Yeah.
Right? And slowly but surely you'll realize you'll make less and less consequential generational mistakes. And eventually you'll have a calm, comfortable, enjoyable life. And that's really all we want for everybody, man. We just want everybody to be happy, bro, and not in an unhealthy manner, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Happy in a healthy manner, and really seek really seek the truth and understand that there's law and order. And through that process, you'll really start to see your mind elevate. But
yeah,
I think this is a great talk, bro. I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
I didn't come in thinking I was gonna talk about my.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think so either. But I was like, nah, we gotta
But
stay here. This
but
is
no,
this is good right here.
that's one of my quiet burdens. But
Yeah, I
I
know.
deal with it. I deal with it, and
Yeah,
I'm good for it. Eventually, one day having I plan on having a nice sit down with all the men that went through that process, and
yeah,
really,
yeah. I think you're
just
perfect
really
for it.
and really help them out. Like any
Yeah.
dudes that's going through the process. You don't see your child or whatever it
Hmm.
is. You have somebody that you're not with, right? But you have a child with them. They're not your baby moms. That is your child's mother.
Yeah.
You know, feel free, hit me up. I'll definitely talk you through it. I get it. I get it 150%. But
Follow the
I do
Instagram TBB podcast
facts,
underscore.
facts,
Hit us up if
facts.
you got any questions, whatever.
Like, subscribe,
All that good
comment.
stuff.
Like I said, all right, bro. You want to leave him with anything?
Hey, it's gonna be ups and downs in life, but keep God before anything.
Hey, and always strive for perfection. So if you fall short, you'll still be excellent. Remember that, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes,
Holla
sir.
at us. Later.
Jordan.